Game Freak hasn't just deleted a couple useless moves, but they deleted some of the most meta-defining moves in the entire franchise. And competitive singles has never really recovered. Some Pokemon didn't just get nerfed, but their identity got taken from them. And the craziest part is that most players still don't realize how broken and impactful these moves actually were. Today we're looking at the deleted moves that would completely reshape competitive Pokemon right now if they returned. Hidden Power is genuinely one of the dumbest moves Game Freak ever created. A 60 base power attack that can become any type. Basically Terra Blast, but you didn't have to commit your Terra. And the worst part is that every Pokemon learned it. It let special attackers patch every matchup they struggled with. HP Ice on electric types, HP Fire on psychic types. Your checks are not safe. Even Pokemon like Superior had multiple viable hidden power types, basically putting you in the same guessing game hell we have to deal with today with Terra types. You wanna know something that's really stupid? Landorus T would use HP Ice just to beat Landorus T. How crazy is that? Now imagine a metagame with Hidden Power and Terra Blast. Unblockable coverage, you have to guess the Terra type, you have to guess the Hidden Power type. Bro, this metagame would be cooked with Hidden Power. There are literally zero safe switch-ins. Completely unplayable, and deleting this move was one of the smartest decisions Game Freak has ever made. Now, removing Return and Frustration might be one of the strangest decisions Game Freak has ever made. Frustration being gone actually makes sense, because why does my Pokemon deal more damage when it hates me? That goes completely against all principles of the game. But removing Return for every physical normal type has ruined them. Every Pokemon learned it, so every normal type had a clean, reliable 102 base power step. And without it, normal types are nothing anymore. They stuck between Body Slam's weak power and Double Edge's recoil. And these Pokemon just feel weaker overall. Name one good offensive normal type in Gen 8 or Gen 9 that isn't Ursaluna. What I think is going to be really interesting is the change in Pokemon Champions. Because the two best returns users, Mega Lompany and Mega Pinsir, are confirmed to return, and both relied on return for their crazy damage output. No return means weaker Pokemon, weaker wall breakers, and straight up just worse normal types overall. This single deletion completely changed how these Pokemon function. Now, nobody expects Nature Power to be impactful. Most players don't even know what this does. But competitively, this move was kind of the original Terra Blast. It transformed based on the terrain, which sounds gimmicky until you see what it did for Heatran. Under electric terrain it became Thunderbolt, and under grassy terrain it became Energy Ball. So suddenly Heatran could delete its two classic switch-ins, water and ground types, with a move it doesn't even learn. Paired with Tapu Koko or Rillaboom, this Pokemon could have a nasty coverage move. In Gen 9, Nature Power would arguably be even better on Heatran, because Heatran is used with Rillaboom quite frequently, and it runs Terra Grass as its main Terra type. Meaning Nature Power becomes a stab energy ball out of nowhere. The ultimate bait for that stupid Alomomola and Tinglu that refuse to die. And on this channel, we really hate Alomomola. This move looks harmless, but in today's meta it would be an insanely powerful coverage move on Heatran. Now Pursuit might be the single most impactful move Game Freak has ever deleted. Ask any singles player what move they want back, and I guarantee they will say Pursuit without hesitation. On paper it's a weak 40 base power dark move, but in practice it was one of the most brutal punish tools in the entire game. Pursuit doubled in power on a switch, and it hits before the opponent switches out. Ghost and Psychic types had to respect every turn, because you couldn't pivot out. If you used Latios or Tapu Lele, one wrong turn meant instant punishment. And the users of this move were not weak at all. Trinitar, Weavile, Bisharp, they weren't just trappers but team-defining threats. Once Pursuit vanished, the whole metagame flipped. Ghost and Psychic types exploded in power. Just look at Dragapult in Gen 8 and 9, Tapalele in Gen 8, Goldengo in Gen 9, Teleport Slowbro Gen 8, Chili Reception Slowking Galar in Gen 9. All suddenly have zero punishment. And if Pursuit existed today, Tyranitar and Weavile would be OU staples again. And King Gambit, well, wouldn't just be top tier, but probably the greatest OU Pokemon ever. This move should never have been deleted. And I'll never forgive Game Freak for removing it. Now, Assist was a gimmicky move until players actually discovered how absurdly broken it can be. This move had one of the most degenerate interactions in competitive history and was banned in multiple formats because of it. On paper, it just calls random moves from your party, which is harmless, until you give it on a Pokemon that has Prankster. In Gen 5 OU, Liepard used Prankster Assist to call facing moves like War. With priority, Liepard went first, forced switches every turn, and stacked endless Hazard Chip, creating one of the most toxic loops you've ever seen. But that wasn't even the real problem. In Gen 9, Game Freak added the move Revival Blessing, a 1 PP revive, balanced only because you can use it once, and the users are terrible. But with Assist, this limitation disappears. In Natural Dex Anything Goes, players abused Prankster Liepards to spam Assist and repeatedly call Revival Blessing. Infinite revives, endless battles, games that literally cannot end until someone forfeits. I mean, this isn't just strong, but it's just disgusting. Exactly the kind of thing that gets a move deleted forever. Power Punch looks harmless. 40 best power, 3+1 attack boost. Until you put it on Mega Kangaskhan though, you get it twice per turn with Parental Bond, banned from OU instantly. Aside of a few niche megas, the move was never really a threat though. Until Gen 9. Terrestrialization turns Power Punch into something Game Freak absolutely does not want in the game. Most players don't know this, but any move under 60 base power gets boosted to 60 base power after you Terra. So if you Terra Fighting, Power Punch jumps from 40 to 60 base power, it still gives a free attack boost every time you use it. That means every Fighting Terra user suddenly gets a stronger step move that also can snowball. I mean, that's not weak anymore, that's actually just a free setup move on breakers that shouldn't get it. This move is gone for a reason, but I kinda want it back. Now, not every removed move is actually deleted. Some were pseudo removed. Still in the game, but stripped from so many Pokemon that they're basically gone. The first move is Toxic. Before Gen 8, every Pokemon learned Toxic. It was the best progress move in the game. Guaranteed chip, punished Pokeballs, stopped setup sweepers, it forced timers on everything. Then Game Freak slowly cut its distribution, and by Gen 9, with transfer moves being gone, the move is basically extinct. And the impact is massive. Vet Pokemon like Alomomola and Tingaloo are harder than ever to break. Setup sweepers like Dragonite and Kyurem get free turns they never should have. There's also Scald, one of the dumbest moves ever created. A very spammable water move with a 30% burn chance is insane. And for years almost every water type had access to it. But now its distribution is way smaller. Thank God. We also have Defog though, the one that hurts the most. Gen 9's hazard removal is atrocious. In OU, we have 2 spinners and 1 viable Defog user. No wonder hazards dominated here. Cutting Defog's distribution warped OU's entire pacing and secretly buffed offensive teams. Hazards are easier than ever to set up and harder than ever to remove. We also have Knockoff, which is an interesting case because at launch it was almost non-existent, and a bunch of former top tier Pokemon really suffered in viability. Toxapex without Scald and Knockoff just stopped being Toxapex. I mean, where is it now? The DLC brought Knockoff back for many Pokemon, but some never recovered. And that's every deleted move that reshaped competitive Pokemon. Game Freak didn't cut these moves for fun. They were just too strong apparently. If you want to see the exact same problem with returning megas, watch my latest video next. Some of them came back so buffed, they make hidden power actually look like a balanced move. A huge shout out to the members for supporting the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.